Hello and welcome back. I'm Kelly Foxwell and I'm a life coach. And look, I'm so grateful that you're watching my video. I love sharing this stuff, so it's just something that I really enjoy doing. So I'm so grateful for you to come along. If you like my videos and you don't want to miss one, please subscribe or follow me. Either way, and yeah, feel free to leave any comments. So last week I did a video on the difference between existing in life and living in life, and I'd like to just go in a little bit deeper with that. I did mention that, when we are existing in life, then we are literally just using the 5 senses that we've been taught to use. But when we want to live in life, we actually have 6 mental faculties that help us to create and live a life, really come alive. So it's just the basics, but I do want to just run through what those 6 faculties are for you so you have a better understanding. So the 6 faculties are, if I list them off, you've got perception, you've got memory, you've got reasoning, there's will, there's intuition, and then of course there's imagination. So they are your 6 mental faculties that you have access to, that probably a lot of you, majority of you, you use bits and pieces from time to time, memory. Yeah, I remember when I did. But if you don't know how to really use it or how to use it to your advantage, then, knowing the power behind it, you're not going to get out of life what you really deserve to get out of life because you don't have the skills to do it. It's like anything in life, you can have resources around you, but if you don't pick them up and use them or be taught how to use them, then they become pointless. Or, you might get a high-tech phone, for instance, and it's got all these different apps and it's got all these different things you can do with it, and if you don't know all the different things that it does, great, you've got this high-tech phone and you can maybe do this, and maybe you can send a text or check your emails, or maybe you just know how to answer the phone, but at the end of the day the phone's got so much more to offer you and it's getting wasted. And it's a little bit like that with life, with these 6 mental faculties. So I'm just going to break them down just really briefly for you, and we'll start with perception, because perception's one that once you change your perception on something, you can generally start to free yourself a little bit. So I like to start with perception. Your perception of your current circumstances right now. So if you think about, as we do, the money we have, the house we live in, the job we have, maybe the freedom we have, or maybe you're thinking the other way, the money you don't have, the job you don't have, the house you wish you had, the freedom that you would love but you don't have because life is just a burn-in work every day, and you're burnt out by the time you actually get a day off. If you're looking at your circumstances, it is how you look at those circumstances that can determine what actions you take, how you approach life. It can either put you in a box, the way you look at things, and that restricts you. You start living a very limited life because you've put yourself in this box and that is all you see. Or the alternative to that is you can actually change the way you look at things, change your perception, and then that allows you to just come out of that box. Your circumstances are still the same, but the way you look at them is different. And now you've allowed your mind to open up to see opportunities as they come, to see solutions as they come your way. So if you are not willing to change your perception, you are always going to live in this box called existing, which is fine. If that's your choice, by all means, live in this box called existing. But if you want to change your perception and know the way to change your perception and how changing your perception and which way changing your perception can really impact your life in a positive manner, I can show you how to do that. But really, the difference is if you change your perception, you can free yourself. And you can start making steps and taking actions that get you away from these circumstances and move you into a different path, onto a different path, into a different result. But it starts with changing your perception. Now, the next mental faculty, of course, is going to be your memory. And that is so important because without memory, we can't reflect. There's no opportunity to reflect on things of our past and things that worked and maybe things that didn't work, or where we were to where we are now. So there is no growth and there's no learning if we don't have the memory to be able to reflect. Now, all of us, we know, well, yeah, I use my memory. I remember what I did last week and I remember when we went on this holiday absolutely. But do you know how to use your memory in a way that is going to dictate for you what your next step is? And how do you get to where you want to go? And how do you get that next result? So, you've got your perception, which changes your way of thinking and takes you out of the box. So we've changed the perception. We've got you out of the box. We're looking at your memory and we're looking, okay, let's look at time past and what we've done in the past and what results we got from that. And now we're looking at the reasoning. So we're using now our third mental faculty. And these don't go in any particular order. This is just the order I've put them in. But mental faculty of reasoning, which is, where we are using our minds to think. So we've gathered this. We've got our new perception on something. We're reflecting and we're using reasoning, our ability to think, to really break it down and go, okay, you know what? Different results. So I'm going to take that bit. I'm going to reason with this. That bit didn't work, but this bit does. So let's keep going with this bit and we're going to move this to the next step. We're going to try this again, but we're going to try a little bit differently. And that's your reasoning. And that's, the way that you want to be able to tap into your reasoning whenever you come to a point where you have to make a decision or you want to know what you're supposed to do next or how to take that next step. That all comes down to your reasoning. In order to be able to get a different result. Because otherwise, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It just doesn't happen. So then we move over onto your will. And your will is exactly that. It is your will. It is your choice. It is your power to make the decision, your will. What do you want to focus on? Now, you could be one of these people, you're stuck in your box. You've got your perception of, like, this is it. I'm stuck in here because of my circumstances. Yeah, memory. Yeah, this is always the way it's going to be. It's always the way it has been. Because that's all I'm looking at. That's all I'm allowing my perception to see, even when I look back in my memory. So my reasoning is, it's happened before, it'll happen again. That's just going to keep repeating itself. My will is going to be that I'm going to continue to think this way. I'm going to focus on the fact it never happens for me. It never happens for me. It never happens for me. So what's your result going to be? Sounds so simple, doesn't it? And really it is. If you think that way, if you keep all of that there, if you lay your mental faculties into this space, your result is going to be exactly what you've just put out. It's going to be exactly the same. It's not going to change. Because you're choosing to focus solely on this negativity. Now, let's flip it. So, now we're out of the box. We've changed our perception. Where our perception is now, look, our circumstances here, but we're grateful for this, we're starting to look at the positives, like, yep, okay, these are still my circumstances, but this is what I still have to work with. And in memory, I know I worked with this once before and I managed to make some progress with that. So I know that works and I learned this about myself. And so with reasoning, okay, so if I pull that aspect out and I put it into here and we're this is pretty positive stuff because we had results. So we're focusing on the fact we had results. And I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to use my will and I'm going to focus on the stuff that's positive. I'm going to focus on what did work and how I can make that work again and how I can, use that in my life. And what sort of results are you going to get? Positive breeds positive. Negative, in the box, you stay in the box. So your will to choose what you want to focus on is up to you. But having said that, you still need to learn how to do it, because as you would know, trying to focus your attention every day on something that is different to the way we're trained to focus on things, and with all the commotion and noise around us, and it is really hard to do. And there's a very, very good chance that me talking to you like this right now, either you've never heard this stuff before, your brother hasn't, your sister hasn't, your best friend hasn't, your mum, your dad, they don't live that way. So how do you start living a completely different way, thinking a completely different way, when all you're going to hear around you and all you do hear in society is exactly the same thing? It is this living. Well, that's will. You have to learn how to use your will to tune that out, to choose a different way of living. This is your choice for your life. Now, when we're saying drown that out, that brings me to my next mental faculty, which is intuition. So intuition is that tap into your inner infinite power. That power that's running through you, that breathes life into you. Like, you wake up every day because you have this power in you. You'd be dead otherwise. If this power wasn't there, you'd be dead. It's that simple. But you can't deny there's power in you, because you're living and breathing and moving and thinking, and you're doing all these things. So that's power. And that's power that was there, that created you. And so you actually have, while you're still living and breathing, you have this power and you have the ability to tap into it. You just need to know how. So when you've changed your perception and you've looked back on what you've done in the past and what didn't work, and reasoned with the things that did work, and you've decided, you know what, I'm going to take all those positives and put it in this box, and I'm really going to focus on this, and I'm really going to focus on the positives. And then I'm really going to learn how to tap into my intuition, and I'm going to hear the solutions that my subconscious knows that my conscious doesn't know. So your subconscious is constantly taking information in, but it's not always getting to your conscious mind. Now your inner power, your intuition, your tap into that power that's created you, that's energy, that's everywhere, that creates everything that you are a part of. You need to learn how to hear that, how to talk to it, how to tune in with it. But again, there's so much noise everywhere, and it is something you have to practice. And I practice it, and I've been practicing it, and I can tell you, I'm still learning it. I'm not going to lie, I'm not perfect at all this stuff. No one is. We're human beings, and we've been living our existence a certain way. It does take time, but I have made progress, and I can see the difference. And there's my memory coming into play, going, oh yeah, I remember like a couple of years ago, wow, very different mindset, very different way of living, very different results. So now I get stuck and I tap into my intuition and I ask a question, and there's this little voice that says something to me, and I go, okay, all right, that it's not causing me harm, it's not causing anyone else harm. I believe that, yeah, this is it. So I absolutely, encourage you to learn these tools that will help you create your life. And we still have one more of your mental faculties. So, we've already talked about some really powerful mental faculties, but the last one is amazing. Like, the last one is your imagination. You might go, yeah, whatever, I'm not artistic, I'm not creative. Imagination's for those people, but you absolutely are imaginative, and it is such a powerful thing to have. And creativity is so powerful, because creativity is literally coming up with a solution. Creativity is coming up with an idea. Creativity is seeing something that is maybe not there yet, but you would like it to be. That imagination is what created everything in this world. It created the device that you're looking at to watch this video and the audio that you hear, and it's created the chair you might be sitting on, the car you might be driving. Everything was created first in the mind and then as an idea from somebody. It has to go through the mind and become an idea first using the imagination, and then it comes to form. You follow the steps and it turns into physical form. It's the law of the universe. It is what happens. First in thought and then into form. Everything is created twice. First in thought, use your imagination, and then in physical form. It's energy, it's universe, it's the way the universal world works. It's the way the universe works, the laws of the universe. So I encourage you, use these 6 mental faculties, learn how to train yourself in them, strengthen them, grow your awareness. You know, it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, I love this stuff. Like I live and breathe it myself every week, every day. And I tell you what, I have been through challenges. I absolutely have been through challenges. And, you know, just because I do this stuff doesn't mean that every day I don't get another challenge. But it's given me tools in order to be able to change how I look at those challenges and come up with solutions now that help get me through those challenges, rather than push me to a brink where I feel like the world's coming in hard around me and life is just terrible. I've now been able to take the reins, take control, and go, you know what? I'm making a choice here. I don't want to live how you're telling me to live. I don't want to live how generations of people have lived and just survived. I'm done with that. I want to create a life that's mine. It incorporates passions, things that make me come alive, and there'll be things that make you come alive, and they'll be very different to me and mine. And that's okay, because my life is not your life, and your life is not my life, and you'll have different challenges to me, and that's okay. But we're all here, and I can help you and train you into how to take control of your life using your mental faculties and your ability to tap into the infinite, the energy, you know, God's will, if you may, and really just incorporate that into every step you take, every decision you make, and see your life expand and grow beyond what you ever thought, beyond the box that you've put it in. Let that box dissolve and have the freedom to live a life you really want to live. So, look, thank you for listening. That, again, was just the basics of the 6 faculties, mental faculties. I'm going to keep doing these videos, just little by little bits and pieces there, but I do coaching courses. So if you're interested, let me know. If you like my videos and you don't want to miss one, like I said, just subscribe or follow me, or you can send me an email to kfox.faith@gmail.com, and I will put that in the bottom of my thing as well. So, you know, please certainly, you know, if you've got any questions, I'd love to do a video on any questions that you might have. So you can pop them in either the comments section, and I will do a video and answer those questions for you. Or you can email me them direct, and I'll keep an eye out on the questions that come through and try and incorporate them into my next video. So I'd love some feedback. I'd love some interaction. I'm here because I'm passionate about this, because this is the life I wanted, not because the life I was told I could have or I shouldn't have, or you know, this is the way that your path goes. No, I made my own path, and this is where I wanted to be, and I love being here. And I'm so passionate about making sure that I can empower others to live their power. Live the power using what you have right now, the resources you have, and gain an awareness to how many more resources are out there that you can then grasp as well. So look, super excited to be here. Hoping that you're going to follow me and watch my next video. Also hoping I can hear from some of you. So feedback, comments, whatever you want to leave. Have a great Friday night, and yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.